fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
All right, welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV. Tonight, it's RGR Racing League live at World Wide Technology. Used to be Gateway. Can't wait for this one. 120 laps of action. These guys are going to have to possibly shift. I mean, not confirmed, but I think later in the run we'll see some shifting and we'll see who's better at it and how they do with it. I'm Dean Doucette, joined as always by Mr. Baron Labosco. Baron, Worldwide Technology tonight.
Yeah, interesting little racetrack, Dean. I love Gateway. I'll continue to call it Gateway tonight, but very dynamic track. Very short turns in 1 and 2, very sweeping turns 3 and 4, and you're going to see some guys really adapt to one or the other. Very rarely do you get a guy who gets both. And to your point earlier when you opened the broadcast, we're going to see some guys start shifting tonight. Some will do it, some will not. There's a price you pay, isn't there, Dean, when you start hitting that shifter lever too much?
Well, there is, and the question is, what is that price, and does it matter, right? I mean, me and you talked before the broadcast a little bit. I'd raced here, and although the wear was pretty extreme from shifting, it didn't seem to harm me, so be interesting to see if someone takes that tactic and if someone takes the opposite. Look at Jason Speer, a points leader, perhaps saves his tires better than a lot of people. We'll see if it pays off or doesn't. It's really up in the air. And when you look at this track, Baron, there's maybe no better track to describe how, I like to always talk about corners are different, even though they look the same. Well, these ones don't even look the same.
They don't, and that is the challenge for everybody. The banking in 1 and 2 is I wouldn't call it steep, but it's steeper, and there's virtually no banking in 3 and 4. So, two very distinct tracks, a very unique track all the way around. I really enjoy it, Dean, and this is a fun race to be in. Long straightaways, so you want to get that corner exit as best you can. These guys are going to try for everything coming out of 3, coming out of 2. So it's going to be an interesting race. We'll see who's got it dialed in.
Yeah, we definitely will see who's got it dialed in. And you can see here the track temp, 126, Baron. What kind of effect is that going to have on these guys?
Hot and slick, Dean. You're going to expect some of these trucks to be stepping out a little bit coming out of these turns. Fast hands behind the wheel, and that'll keep control. But loose is fast, and especially at a track like this, you really don't want to be tight at the Great Gateway because it slows down the entire lap, and loose is always better. So you'll see guys do the best they can to make sure this thing's a little bit on the free side.
Looking on our points leader here, Jason Speer. Now, Jason's been a model of consistency this year. What does he have to do? He's got the Ratliff brothers coming in all over him here tonight, Baron. Is this a case of maintain? I mean, we're moving along now. We're in race 7, I believe, of 12, so we've passed the halfway threshold here.
Yeah, and what we're looking at here is consistency. I think Jason would be well served to continue to operate under the less is more banner. If he's got an opportunity to finish in the top 5, I think to maintain that points lead, you go for that opportunity, Dean. And of course, if there's a checker flag on the horizon, well, you go for that too.
So you like to go for everything, is what I'm hearing, Baron.
I go for it, man. Rocky 4.
Not a big fan of the 2-letter word no, I would imagine, Baron.
Well, if you're a crew chief, Dean, you're trying to tell Jason, hey, let's keep it out of trouble. Let's get the best finish we can, maintain our points lead, and we'll go to a track where we know we can win, right? And really kind of push all our chips to the center of the table on those tracks. Is Gateway one of those? I don't know. I haven't talked to Jason this week, but my guess is he's going to be pretty consistent everywhere at this point.
Yeah, well, I know firsthand, Baron, you're crew chief for me this week, and you're a hell of a crew chief, so anybody listening, I say listen up to Baron.
Yeah, well, we had him on the ropes there, didn't we, Dean? We almost had one in the pocket.
The old almost, coulda, shoulda. Sounds like my Detroit Lions, but we'll save that for some other time.
Oh,
Tonight,
painful.
it's tonight's starting order here with James Bear, fellow Canadian, out on the point tonight. Great job by him. A time of 34.653. It's Klaus Williams start on the outside of row number 1. Nice, good lap for him. So a couple of newcomers in the front row. Not new racers, but new to the front row perhaps. Ripka making his return. He'll start 3rd. Adam Newton in 4th tonight. Watch out for him. We'll see what he can do. Greg Ratliff starts in 7th. You got William Gay back in 8th. It's Bernard Persson and Jason Speer in row 5. Tony Ratliff and Darren Bruce will start in row number 6. Row 7, Cale Seaman, Todd Gilly in 14th. 15th is Musial, 16th Gadina, and you got Allen, Speer, Ledford, Williams, Whitting, Ware, and Thomas Wolfe rounding out the field.
So some new names up at the front. Klaus had a decent start. The rest of the field plays out as we get some fast cars at the back.
Pace car already off. We're ready to go racing here in the World Wide Technology 120. It's Bear off to a good start. Ripka all over the back of him. Ripka wiggling there on entry. Wow.
Yeah, probably got a little rear brake bias dialed in there, Dean, and helping that truck turn in those tight corners.
Battling a little further back here. Looks like Tony Ratliff trying to make a move. Taking it easy here early though. The front, all the same. Bear, Williams, Ripken, Newton, and Dibble. Dibble picked up 1 spot.
So last week's winner, Tony Ratliff there, 12th place, playing a little possum, Dean?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Tony's, he hasn't been a great qualifier. He's been a very good racer. I mean, I would have to look at the stats to know for certain. But if I had to guess, Baron, here's a guy who's averaging, plus 10, from where he qualifies to where he finishes race after race.
So he's in a decent position. Darren Bruce right in front of him in 11th. Darren, a competent race car driver, and Darren, this is his kind of track, isn't it, Dean?
Well, I think it is, and he's got Bernard Persson there as well, as the 3 teammates are right around from Team Speer, around each other here. And I wonder, I expect a lot from Darren Bruce and from Bernard Persson. Of course, Jason, the points leader, but I don't know, this track's funny. It'll suit you one week, you go run it again the next time, and it won't. It's a real rhythm place, especially if you get into shifting.
We saw what they did last week at Talladega. It was a great race. This team really put it together. Came up a little short, but my goodness, we're to what we call, like non-plate tracks now. This is where the talent and the speed really rise to the top.
They do, and I expect those guys to rise up at some point too, but here's a couple of guys right here in Ripka, followed by Newton, that I look for big nights from tonight. I mean, these guys have really put the work in. I mean, Ripka just seemed like he's been kind of the one to beat here, Buckshot as he's known, but, Newton, kind of a relative newcomer here. He dominated Bristol, almost lapping the field there. And he's on the rise these days.
Well, he's got motivation, Dean. He's been putting his time in, and we've seen him in other leagues where Adam either finishes at the front or at the back. But I think now we're on these bigger tracks, we're in bigger cars. I think he's comfortable behind the wheel of these trucks, and it may be suiting him better than the late models or the super lates that he'd been previously running in.
Well, I think the key is what you said is put the work in. Now, you talk a lot about that, Baron. You got to get out here and practice. I mean, we've heard guys in the past say things like almost scoffing at a guy for practicing, saying, "Oh, well, you put in all these hours." Well, yeah, that's that's what it takes, doesn't it, Baron?
Absolutely. Any of the greats will tell you that it doesn't happen overnight. Talent's one thing, but the work ethic and the dedication is the other. And it's only half of it if you're good. So, a guy like Adam Newton comes into the season, and he already knows that there are more talented guys out there than him, but he puts in the work and he produces the finishes. And that's the way you win championships, and that's the way you win races.
Well, speaking of putting in the work, how about William Gay here in the 44? He's had some great finishes lately. He's, I think, 4th in the points, right in the hunt, Baron. And I expect, big things out of the 44 every week as well. Here he is. He's already picked up 2 spots. He's on the move. Only Greg Ratliff just ahead of him. A couple up there who's picked up 3 spots has moved more. Well, there's a couple guys at the back.
Yeah, Ricky Williams is up 6 spots now. Ricky in the 10 machine started, deep in the field and has passed some of his competitors. Still under a green flag condition, so he's doing this all on his own.
Yeah, I mean, even if you start towards the back, that's no slouch. 6 spots here he's picked up into 14th, so he's got something figured out here. Watch out for him later on. We'll look at our other big mover. That's Eric Whitting here. Maybe Whiting. We'll have to get that one sorted out, Baron. But Eric definitely on the move. He's picked up 5 spots himself.
Yeah, so 2 drivers starting deep in the field. And sometimes drivers like doing that. They like to, let the race unfold in front of them so that they can attack when the opportunities are right. Some drivers are really dedicated to, it begins on Friday, and you qualify well, and then you start well, and you finish well. So we'll see. Big movers on the horizon, though, Dean.
Oh, and a wiggle from our leader. He comes down low. Doesn't lose a whole lot of momentum there, and that could be running that extra gear. I mean, if he's downshifting, we're going to have to get in someone's car here momentarily. About lap 10, why don't we do that now? And we'll ride along with, say, Adam Newton and get a look and see if he's shifting here.
I like how he's staying tucked in on these straightaways.
Definite shift from Adam Newton, and you can see how he's pulling away, shifting through the corner, and a big pickup when he goes from 3rd to 4th, and he's going to go straight to the lead here, Baron.
Yeah, he's going to get 2 for 1 here.
So Newton's on the move, and I like exactly how the way he drove that car. Now, great job by Bear holding him off there, but the shift down in 1 and 2 is really where he's better. 3 and 4 may not be shiftable at this point in the race, Baron.
Might be a little too much grip there. He's probably using the brakes to get it wound down. But yeah, he definitely pulls the 52 machine. But we've seen the 52 be very conservative in the early laps. So he may just told Adam, go ahead and go on by, and we'll get back to it here in a few laps.
Well, this is the other thing, Baron. Very interesting here tonight. We have a 96 lap race, about 120 miles. Now, guys would have to go to lap 48 to get to halfway. Word on the street is not many are going to be able to do that. I know of one who can hit that mark exactly, and that would be points leader Jason Speer. The question is, can anybody else, or does it matter?
Well, we got an opportunity for the lead here, Dean.
Yeah, big battle for the lead. Newton again starting to put pressure on our leader, James A. Bear, but can't get it done off the corner. And that's tough here, isn't it, Baron? You got to come off lower, can't extend out. It really hurts that runoff.
Yeah, it does, and he's not looking to, shred his rear tires just yet. There's not a whole lot out there for him, but he'll just stay in his tire tracks for the moment. But back to your point about fuel mileage, you'll see some guys try to stretch it, and that means there is no shifting. So potential loss of some track position. It looks like if Jason's the one that's going to try to make it, he hasn't done anything but increase one position. So I'd like to get an onboard, see what he's doing here.
Yeah, we hop on board with Jason Speer right now. move on William Gay. So Speer really driving well here, not shifting.
I believe he did, Dean. Let's go to listen in 1 and 2 again. Yeah, you just heard it.
Sounded like an extremely early shift. You hear the shift there. So he's definitely shifting. But what he's doing. So when I drive this track there and you go into 1 and 2, you shift way deep in the corner, in my opinion. He's shifting before the corner even starts and coasting in. Now that's great for tire saving, for fuel mileage. I don't know about speed, but he's got speed too, so he's really found something here, Brad.
Well, I think he's using the shift as a way to help steer the car. If the rear wheels are decelerating, it helps that car, believe it or not, make that left-hand turn. So I think he's using it as a tool right now to help that car rotate in the center without sacrificing too much tire wear.
So Newton taking another shot and being denied again. Bear being a real pain up here to Adam Newton. And another way to describe it is doing an excellent job of running a higher groove and getting a better run off the corner.
From a high to low pass.
Was that a half thought, Bern? I don't know if you had...
No, I'm having internet connection issues.
10-4.
If you give me a minute, I'll switch over.
Yep, that's fine. When Barron makes that switch, we look in our leaders. Bear and Newton still going at it. Ripka in third. It's Greg Ratliff. Now he's made up some gains here. He's up to fifth, and don't look now, but Bernard Person on the move. He is up 4 spots. Looking good in the Mobile 8 machine. Klaus Williams right there. Now Klaus has lost 4 spots. We'll see if this is a strategy call, perhaps some kind of fuel mileage concerns. Again, if you can make it to 48, you play huge here. This has a real green flag feel to it. It's George Dibble back in 7th position, followed by your points leader, Jason Speer, Tony Ratliff right there in 9th, and then it's Darren Bruce rounding out the top 10. Now, William Gay has dropped a few here lately, so he's down to 11th position. He's not liking this car too much right now, I don't think. Todd Toadman Gilly up into 12th. He's picked up a couple of spots. Paul Travis falling. He had lost 8 spots already. So
falling like a rock.
Yeah, something's happened, Baron, with Paul somewhere along the line. Now, obviously, we don't know what that is, but I don't think he'd naturally lose 8 spots. He probably got loose somewhere and lost a bunch all at once.
Any damage on it?
I'm not seeing anything wrong with that car, so we'll have to keep an eye. It's hard to say what's going on there.
Seeing a few of these trucks getting a little loose.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of movement, and I think some of that's from shifting. And we have something going on out here as multiple cars disappear momentarily. Okay, everything seems all right, but there was a little glitch there, and 4 or 5 cars dropped out for a minute.
Okay.
Spooked
iRacing
me, I don't know if it spooked anybody else, but it spooked me.
Yeah, iRacing and Barron having technical issues tonight.
Little deeper shot, you can see going for the race lead. The 2 machines still working over race leader James Bear. I really like what I've seen from Bear. He is running this high line, and he's putting Newton in jeopardy now. If Newton keeps doing this, Ripka's going to take over, and Greg Ratliff right behind him. So Newton's in the pickle now.
Yeah, Newton is in a pickle, but I also think Bear's holding him up. And so
there's little doubt. We have a 6-car train here, Baron.
Yeah, and what I'm saying here is, if one opens the door, there will be several to come through. Here's Newton looking again.
But if Newton gets stuck, does Ripka just go up to the high side and keep him pinched on the bottom?
Well, I'm sure he'll put it. You've heard me say this before. You put it where they eat, and if Adams, bogged down, we see it here, right? Ripka will go to the high side right now,
and that's exactly what he's
try to keep him pinned down.
And it's going to work. And Newton's got to find a way to get faster here because he is in jeopardy of losing 4 spots, not just 1.
Yeah, and the 52 sends it just in an order to keep Newton pinned down there. So Newton may have to clear himself here if he gets an opportunity, and he does. So he closes the door on the 52, and now you're right, the pressure's on.
Over at old YouTube, Scott Olson up here, rooting on the Bulldogs. So he's looking for Newton to get out here and get it done. And Newton is darn well trying it. It's just tough to pass right now.
Yeah, you almost want to ride in his tracks right now and hope that he makes a mistake. But I think really right now we're waiting for a mistake from the leaders so the other ones can come on by, right?
Well, but I mean, so what's happened here is we have 6 cars all nose to tail now. And look behind them, Baron. Points leader, Jason Speer, gaining while having good gas mileage. So the 83 is sneaky good here tonight. And here goes Newton. He knows it. He's got to get this done, and he's got to get it done now.
So he's got a decent run. He needs a run off here. A little slide job might do him some good here.
Yeah, he's got to...
Not clear.
Not clear yet, but he's got to do this in this next corner and just slide up on him. I don't know what else he can do.
So that high line is banked a little bit deeper than where Adams' truck is, and that's providing that runoff for Abear. And so frustrating as hell, right? Because Adam knows if I can just get him clear, might be able to walk away from these guys.
He might get him here. I mean, this is his better corner. You see, he pushes in a little deeper this time, but just can't. I mean, Abear is just doing great on the high side.
Yeah, and frustrating, right, Dean? I mean, you're down there, you know you're faster, you're doing everything you can to get around this guy, he just won't let you go. And I get it. He's not doing anything wrong. He just
it's a race for the lead. You can't give it up. But I mean, what you can do is get bumped. Oh, and Newton's out of control. He's lost it. Everybody in avoidance. Ripka's going to get harm out of this too as he gets passed by 3 cars. And here comes Klaus Williams down on the apron trying to make a move. Wow.
Yeah. If you're Adam Newton right now, we got one sideways on the backstretch.
That's Whiting here. No caution. I can't believe a caution didn't go out. Several cars driving right by that wreck does not trigger a caution. Unbelievable. We stay green. Abear leading. And now Greg Ratliff and Bernard Persson are second and third. Ripka's trying to get one of those spots back. Newton's ticked off, I'm sure, and he's trying to fight back.
Well, he can only be mad at himself at this point, right? I mean, he's down there. He's looking for positions early in the race. The last thing you want to do is be on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, ticked off at yourself, but this is what frustration will do to you. Like you said, Baron, you said just ride around behind him and harass him and wait for a mistake. That's one way to play it. The other is to try to pass continually and talk yourself into a mistake.
So we hope the damage isn't too bad on the 2 machine. He hit the wall pretty good there, Dean. It was good to keep it off his fellow competitors, though.
Yeah, everybody did a great job there with sudden moves, not only around Newton, but Ripka was kind of checking up a bit, so they had to get around him too. So great job by these guys. And now here comes Bernard Persson. He's looking for second on Greg Ratliff. So 2 big movers here, up 5 and 6 spots. Bernie looking to make it 7 here. And I mean, I've raced Bernie here before, and I got to tell you, he's very good here, Baron. If he can hang on mentally and physically, I think the 8's going to be a real contender here.
Well, let's put him in second place and see if he has anything for the 25 machine. But we got him back under a blanket behind the 8, so a lot of passing opportunities here as we see Newton trying to get around Ripka.
So Bear, who could have let, say, Newton go by, Baron, and he would have probably ended up letting more and more cars by. He doesn't. He fights him off, does a great job as a leader to just hold his line and run solid. And now he's got like a 10-car length lead. So, in my opinion, he did the absolute right thing.
Oh, for sure. He did exactly what he's expected to do, and that's how you win races, Dean. If the other guy makes a mistake, that's one less competitor you got to worry about, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot going on here so far during this race. Klaus Williams looking to make a move now. So Williams fell early, I do believe, and now he's been picking it up again, and that might have been planned, Baron.
Well, we know tire conservation is going to play a role in tonight's race, and it looks like the 16 has got where he needs to be on his weather, and he's going to move forward now and see if this truck's got anything for the leader.
So lap 34 of 96 in the World Wide Technology 120.
Real interesting line there by the 16, huh? Look how high he was.
You know, there are so many different lines you can run here, Baron, as I'm sure you're aware. The
Big run.
Kind of popular here.
Yeah,
but you can run several ways.
I mean, he just drove by the 5 machine.
He absolutely did drive by him. So Bernard Persson starting to run down our race leader. Klaus Williams making moves. He is coming as well. Ratliff back there in 4th. Ripka is now falling back to 5th, and Newton's falling back to 6th. So 2 really good cars here fell back during that shuffle, and they're not gaining it back right now because, well, Newton anyway was really using up his stuff trying to pass the leader.
So if you're a crew chief right now, you go right ahead and tell your driver, look, the 16 just passed the 5, 3 lanes up from the bottom. Keep that in your back pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's something up there, and I don't see anybody really trying it outside of that move. So, I mean, here goes Bear, though. Bear is going to stay on that high line. He's already warming up for Bernie trying to come up here and get him on the low side.
Yep. And here comes Klaus, though. Klaus got that big run out of 1 and 2 again. So he's going to put his name in this battle soon.
Yeah, Klaus is definitely coming, and he's bringing a few more with him here. I mean, Jason Speer has caught up to this group, Baron, so watch out. This is what he does. You got about 10 laps left in this run. Everybody looking to make it to lap 48. Can they do it? I mean, anybody else, they should be in pitting already.
Big wiggle out of the 5.
Holy cow.
Tires starting to give up on some of these trucks, Dean. Tire wear may be a factor more than the gas at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think when I was talking about wearing out my tires when I raced here, it was the right front in particular, right? And sometimes I find that can be a good thing.
Big push there.
Tighten that, keep that car a little tight as Michael Ware heads down to pit road. So Michael Ware, first man in.
And the Reese's truck.
Just the Reese's?
It says Reese's on the hood. I'm going with that.
Is it Pieces? Reese's
Is it the
Pieces?
Reese's Pieces truck?
Little inside joke. We're not going to let you in on. Nonetheless, Bear out front. Persson in 2nd. Klaus Williams in 3rd. And it is tightening up late in this run. It's looking like we got ourselves a race here tonight.
Sure do. I'm telling you, Klaus Williams has found something. He has separated himself from Ripka, and he has caught Bernie he has found a little something here tonight.
Here comes Greg Ratliff. So coming in on lap 40. Again, I don't know why they didn't come in earlier if they can't make it, but here comes Bruce as well. So Ratliff and Bruce, a couple of our higher up competitors, making it to pit road here early on. Oh, and here comes race leader James Bear down to the apron.
How do you like this move, Dean? I mean, you're out there leading the race. Can you make it? I guess maybe not.
He can't make it, and so yeah, I love it. Like, one thing you've proven is you can run a high line and hold off a charger. So get in, keep your track position. When these guys pit, you know, and obviously he thinks everybody's going to have to. Now, we got 7 more laps for halfway. Who can make it? I mean, I already told you. I think Speer has said he can make it. Others, I'm not so sure. Here's Gilly. There's Alland. Bear, of course, already had come in. Race leader now, Bernard Persson, being chased by Klaus Williams. Here comes Ripka onto pit road, and he's got, who's a 26 here? It looked like Klaus Williams. That's Gadina out there. So Gadina not having an overly great night as of yet, but the early stop here, compared to some, may help him out. Ripka's in, Paul K. Travis in, William Gay's in. Little airtime for Daryl Speer back here in the 32 machine.
Good looking Caterpillar truck there, Dean.
Let's get another look in on that. It is a good looking truck.
Good looking Tundra.
So out front, still Bernard Persson here. We're going to go back to the board. We look at these laps. Lap 43. 5 more laps to halfway. Who can make it? Who can't? Someone going really fast out there. Is that Bear? That is Bear. So Bear going to unlap himself here as Tony Ratliff hits pit road. George Dibble hits pit road as well. Fresh tires, Baron. You gotta love them.
Yeah, and it makes you feel like Superman too. It just blows the doors off of Bernie there. I mean, it's not Bernie's fault. You know, he's losing a second or two a lap now, but yeah, Klaus out there making everybody look silly until everybody's on the same tire strategy.
New driver in the 66 machine, Baron.
Cale Seaman. So good to see Cale in the event tonight.
Absolutely, looking good out there on pit road. Thomas Wolf comes in as well. So
great name.
Now we've got lap 45, and here comes Bernard Persson down to pit road, and
nice.
He's got others with him. That's not enough. 45 is not enough, folks. You got Williams and Newton coming in. These guys have tried their best to make it, but why try to make it this close if you already know you can't make it, Baron?
Well, that's just it. You know, if you cannot make it, you maximize your pit strategy. You don't sit behind it. Jason Speer's out here. He's going to limp it around, see if we can get one more lap out of this truck, and he will make it a 2-stop race.
Yeah, well, they got to get 2 more laps if they want to be, you know, certain, and that 3 more if you really want to, you know, get there. You know, you want to complete lap 48. You don't want to come in at the beginning of lap 48. So
right.
Let's see what he does here. But so far it's Speer, Ledford, Daryl Speer as well. So these 3 drivers are your 3 main competitors. Now, Bear, you know, Ratliff, Ripka, Bruce, these guys are going to be in contention regardless. Even if they have to make an extra stop, I think they're going to be in contention by the end of it. It's going to be highly interesting to see what happens.
So Daryl Speer calls it. He's in. Looks like Jason's going to try to go one more lap.
So, yeah. Darrell Speer hits pit road in that Caterpillar machine. And they have to, Baron. I mean, I'm convinced that, you know, if you could only make it to 47, how the heck are you going to do 49 on the back end?
Well, and he's stuck on the high side here, Dean, with trucks underneath him. If he's looking to pit, he missed it.
Yeah, I don't think he's looking to pit. I know him well enough to know that, like, he is going to complete lap 48, come in on 49. I'm almost certain of that. And if he needs help, he's got Bernie right there. Maybe Bernie will slide in and push him to pit road.
Cut him a break, yeah.
So we're going to stay with Jason Speer here. We'll head on a cockpit and see if he's running out of fuel. I was going to say, it almost sounded like it, Baron.
It sounded like it, but he's bringing it to pit row.
I'm not hearing any sputtering. I may be hearing sputtering.
Well, he's made it under power, so now all he has to do is get to his pit box, and he'll be good.
Yeah, he's sputtering, Baron. He's in trouble. He's going real slow. He's losing a ton of time here, and you might have been right. He got hung out on that high side. He is coasting, Baron. This is big trouble for the 83. So he's lost probably 5 or 6 seconds of track time. That is huge for this strategy. And he made it. That's the main thing, right?
Yep, tires and fuel going in the thing.
So he's going to come out, and he's going to be at a serious disadvantage. But quite frankly, he just has to make it. He's going to be about 25 seconds back.
He's the only one on this pit strategy, yeah.
This is going to be so interesting as we go forward during this race. So Speer down and away. He did sputter. He did lose time, but strategy still viable. Bear out front. He's got company.
Yeah, it sure does. 48 machine has caught him, huh?
Well, 48 is not
lap
on
down.
the lead lap.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's James Ledford. I take it back.
That's Ledford there.
Ratliff.
Ledford having an off night. I mean, Ledford's been strong lately. He's going to be a tough pass sitting there in second. So a little buffer back to Greg Ratliff. You got Ripka sitting in third. Darren Bruce has shook out into fourth here. So Bruce making a move on pit road. Bring up our pit board again here, Baron. Just look at the lap. So he pitted on 39, as did Ratliff. 41 for Ripka and 40 for Bear.
So we talked about Jason Speer's one-stop strategy here. Jason only 17 seconds back on fresh tires, and when he went in, he was a 22-second lead. So you're right. Spit and sputtering down pit road cost him about 4 seconds, Dean.
Yeah, and you know, I think what that's going to do is make it interesting for us up in the booth. But I still think it's a winning strategy. We look in on him now. I mean, if he can keep his wits about him and not get rattled by that, which I'm pretty sure he can. I mean, that's the kind of driver he is, you know. So I don't think he'll be rattled by this. He pitted on lap 50. He's absolutely good to go. Nobody else in the field is, Baron.
Yeah, so he's going to play it out. And he's hoping no cautions, right, Dean? No yellow flags.
Well, he's not only hoping. If someone calls a caution, he might go find them and hurt them.
So, you know, we have a legit strategy war going on here. Fast trucks on the track, very cool track. But Dean, who's got the fuel to make it?
One guy does. So I don't even think it's necessarily a multiple guys. I think it's just one guy. So this is a battle for either the win, or is it a battle for second? I don't know. But it's Bear, Ratliff, and Ripken right now. But others are coming. I mean, when we looked at the pit board, I can tell you Klaus Williams, who's a ways behind now, not a whole lot, like 4 seconds back. He pitted about 3-4 laps later than these guys, Baron. So as he came during the last run, he's going to come again.
Yeah, and so 40 laps to go here on the next time around. And, what do you do, Dean? If you know you're on a strategy now, Jason Speer's the truck you've got to beat. You pit now?
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you're going, I wouldn't pit now, but I'm a little disappointed that all these guys were in the late, or after lap 40. I don't understand it. I mean, the strategy is clearly 32, 32, 32 if you're on a two-lapper. Why are you waiting till lap 40, 43, 44, and so on if you can't make it? I don't, other than a caution, I guess, is what you're scared of, but that's playing scared, Baron. I mean, I like to push all my chips in the middle. I don't play scared.
Play with control, right? Folks who play euchre will know that they play with control. That's the way you win games, and it's the same in racing. If you're the one in control in the race and you're dictating what the other drivers are doing, you got a leg up on the field, and I think that's what our friend there in the Speer machine has done tonight.
I thought it was signals between partners. That's how you put that euchre, Baron.
Good Lord. That's illegal, Dean. We would never do anything like that, ever.
I've won many a tournament, Baron, and I can't say they were done honestly.
Never, never, never. Table talk is a no-no, you lawbreaker.
For any euchre players out there, a little tip is you just raise up your bower about a quarter inch and put all your trump on the right side of your bower, and your partner should be able to know you got a bower and two trump. I'll tell you to pick it up.
I need that strategy. I think I'm playing cards this weekend.
It's a little cheater's tip. Now I was a teenager, so cut me some slack. I didn't mean to, and it was only a high school event. But yes, for any of my high school peeps out there, we did cheat.
And now it comes out.
Finally.
35 years later.
Not proud of it, to be honest with you, but it was fun. Here comes Klaus Williams. He is with Darren Bruce, and here comes Adam Newton. So a three-way battle here for fourth place. Newton comes down low again. Williams way up high again, and they're both trying to work on Darren Bruce. This could get ugly.
Well, it looks like Klaus is going to get the pass, and I'll tell you something here. Adam Newton, needs to take a lesson from what he's seeing out here, and he does, right?
Well, Darren Bruce come way down the track and gave it to him, but you're absolutely right. Newton should be taking a lesson from what he's seen out of the 16. It's an abnormal line to all of us, man, at this track, but it's working, and it's working well for Klaus Williams.
And I think maybe Darren Bruce is in fuel save mode because no way does he get his doors blown off like that unless he's watching his fuel mileage.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I mean, I think it's futile at this point for Darren to be doing this. I don't think he can make it, but I think that's what he's attempting.
Yeah, so max save right now. Meanwhile, we know Jason Speer can just put it in the metal down, put it to the metal, and come to the front. Only 9 seconds back where he was 17 at the beginning of this after the pit stop. So he's not only shaving time off, he's in the best pit strategies position on the track.
Yeah, I mean, Speer is really doing something here tonight. Not only fuel saving, but he's fast while doing it. So interesting. Anybody who's seen the in-car camera, you kind of see what he was doing. A little different style of shifting to what I'm used to. Very good on the fuel mileage, and I mean, he was right with the leaders here in the first run, Baron. He wasn't really saving.
Well, he's figured something out when it comes to saving fuel, and here he is on a one-stop strategy. A yellow flag takes this and throws it all out the window, but Jason holding all the cards right now, Dean.
Yeah, I'm going to say outside of a huge mistake or a caution, this race is over, folks. I mean, Jason Speer has got the correct strategy. Now, Abear, Ripka, and others are going to have a little something to try and say about that as they continue to race. Ripka just riding right around Abear. Not a single car on this track's been able to pass James Abear here tonight.
And he's out front. He's leading the race. Now he's catching some lap traffic. Does this provide an opportunity for the 52?
Well, I mean, there's opportunity here for sure for Ripka. And like you said, Ripka not known to push. Oh, and he almost pushes to the back end there, but
Just like that.
he's just not one to overdrive the car. But now I think
Oh.
he sees people coming. I mean, Greg Ratliff and Klaus Williams right behind him. Klaus is coming. Ripka
Well-
might see that, and he's ready to make a move.
Adam Newton was so sideways, I saw his right side door number.
Well, shifting some kinds can do that to you too. As you see the 5 get a little bent out of shape, he comes to the low side. He's going to give Klaus that high side. Just watch this as he goes in here. We'll ride with him. And you see how comfortable he is going way up the track here. I mean, let's take a lap with Klaus Williams here. Just have a look here. I mean, that's traditional diamond right there.
Yeah, he's really done a nice job here. Straighten out that exit as much as he can and get a nice run down the backstretch. It's front stretch.
Now, when you enter the corner like that, Baron, with this diamond, what does that do for tire wear here?
Well, it traditionally chews up the right front. However, if he's got enough brake bias, dialed into it, he's just taking the natural course of the truck's line and using it to his advantage. So we see him here in the really in the footprints of the trucks in front, because he's got a lap truck in front of him here on the high side. But we saw him kind of adjust his line in 1 and 2 that allows a straighter run off, and he's doing it in 3 and 4 as well. But he's doing it in a diamond situation. Of course, I say that, and he jinxed me, and he doesn't go high.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way it goes up here.
That's the way it is. Yep.
So Jason Speer just made another pass. He walks around George Dibble here. Dibble just moving over and letting him go. Speer now only 11 seconds behind our leader. He's shaved, I don't know, at least 9 seconds off the lead here, Brad.
Well, he came out on 17 seconds back, and
okay, but
now,
6 then.
Yeah. So still significant gains here out of the 83 machine.
Yeah, I mean, very impressive while saving fuel. So, I mean, like I said, barring something, our points leader here is going to open up that lead. Battle for the lead right now, though, remains Ripka and Abear, and Ripka playing the role of the 2-car earlier. And now here's Klaus Williams and everybody else forming up in a line, Baron. Same thing. Abear is clearly not the fastest car on the track. He just might be the smartest car on the track, though.
Well, they can't handle him, Dean. They got to find a way around him. Otherwise, they're just going to play follow the leader. And we see guys hunting, but nothing actually pans out. Now here's Klaus saying, look, I've got the unusual line. I'm going to try it out here for you and see what Klaus can do with it.
Yeah, and I think Klaus is the one. Oh, and Klaus is coming in. I like this move. Klaus Williams says, I'm in traffic. This could be hard for a while. I'm coming in. Newton follows him in.
Yep.
Looks like no person stays out. Newton, one other car here. I think that's Greg Ratliff.
Yeah, Greg Ratliff.
So the 3 of them come in. I love this call coming in for this earlier pit stop here. Finally giving way to the let's try to save strategy. And meanwhile, a battle for the lead. Ripka trying that low side. Abear saying, oh, I could do this all day, guys.
And I'll tell you what, if you get an in-car view of that 83 machine, you'll be able to see the teeth on the smile of Jason Speer as these trucks peel away for pit stops.
Now, you made me go look and see if I could see his teeth, Bear, and I could not.
Big old grin right there. Big smile. Big smile.
Abear going around Gay having an off night tonight, and it happens at World Wide Technology. It's not everybody's favorite track, I'll tell you that. Darren Bruce is in, George Dibble's in.
So much for my thought on him actually trying to save fuel.
And here comes Abear. I like this. Abear should not be staying out any longer. He's done good from leading the group. I don't know if he would do nearly as good if he has to chase and pass.
Well, if he's in traffic, it's a different kind of race. So just about everybody on pit road now, except for that 83 machine.
Yeah, Whiting, Gilly, Allen's in, Ricky Williams is in. We've seen he made some good gains early on. Tony Ratliff coming in. Abear about to take off. Or no, he's just coming in still. Here comes Ripka. Bernard Person right there with him. So new race leader, guess who? Jason Speer out front. And he is going to have an enormous lead.
Yeah, it would appear that he's going to put the field on notice with 24 laps to go.
Now Newton, let's take a look in here on our pit strategy board. Newton on lap 69, he is behind Klaus Williams. So Klaus Williams, our first contender off of pit road, and he is going to be 25 seconds back of Jason Speer. Now if we look at laps, Baron, you got 24 to go. You're 25 seconds back. I mean, I'm not good at math, Baron, but I think that's roughly a second a lap you're going to need.
You did very well, Dean, even without the abacus. So we are looking for a second a lap, and I don't know that we'll get it. 23 to go here. So we know Klaus and Adam Newton are going to have to drive their tails off to get there. Let's see if they play nice and try to get to the front.
Well, the good thing for them is they don't need to conserve. It's 23 to go. It's not a big track. I mean, they can give it everything they got, and I think they're going to do that. Now, Abear is interesting. Abear going around Ledford right now, but Abear falls to 5th. So Williams, Newton, and Greg Ratliff all surpass him on pit road with earlier stops. I think there's a mistake at Abear, but we'll find out as he closes in on these guys.
And I'm wondering if anybody got tires, Dean. I don't see the lead falling. In fact, Jason Speer is increasing it.
Well, it could be just cold tires, guys getting used to the change, but that lead is starting to fall, Baron, but you're right.
It's falling back. Yep.
It's not at what you would think, right? It's certainly not a second a lap.
Well, it was 24, went back to 25. Now we're back to 24 again, but certainly nobody really taking a bite out of crime at 21 laps. He's on cruise control here.
Let's just have a look and see what kind of cruise control we're talking about. A little different shifting this time in 3 and 4 out of them there.
Short shifting it, yeah. He's playing the fuel mileage game also. Yeah, and just like that, the lead is down to 21 seconds, Dean. So 3 seconds on that last lap.
Wow. So interesting. Things have changed and changed in a hurry.
Now that could have been because he's got a lap truck behind him trying to get around him. Could be because he's managing his fuel, but Klaus Williams took a big chunk out of his lead just in one lap.
So here comes Klaus right now. He'll be looking to get around the 26th machine. That's Gadina. Gadina not having the night he would hope for here.
Hey, you hate to see it. Truck seems to be in pretty good condition. Just missed the set tonight, I guess.
Daryl Speer hits up on pit road. Back to Klaus Williams here.
Yep, 18 seconds now with 19 to go.
So you got Newton right there. Greg Ratliff is there as well. So these guys all closing in. Sub 20 seconds, 18 to go. Now, what we do know is things level out. These are the best laps these guys are going to get times-wise. So they might have about 3 or 4 more laps to close at this rate. I don't see them getting down quick enough to catch our race leader, but time will tell.
And speaking of time, race leader Jason Speer, 36:41. Klaus Williams in second, 35.29. So over a second per lap right now, as we discussed earlier.
Very interesting. Just not seeing it, Baron, even with your description. I'm not seeing these big closing in right now. Klaus Williams now 16.7 seconds back. I mean, he's under the 1 second a lap, need that he has. It's going to be interesting.
Well, it's still going to be at the wire, I think, Dean. I think once we get down to 1 to go, I think Klaus is going to be in striking distance of this our leader. Can he get around him, though?
Let's look from Speer back to Klaus Williams, and you can see on lap 74, it was at 23 seconds. 5 laps later, it's 7.2 seconds as Klaus Williams has raked in. That's impressive, Aaron.
Well, it sure is. 15 seconds with 16 to go.
Might be 6.2 again with the math. 15 to go. Klaus Williams now 15 seconds back. I don't know, Aaron. So close, so hard to tell. And of course, you got Newton and Ratliff right there. Can they make something happen? Abear right here in the mix, and Ripka now in 6th position. So everything's kind of flip-flopped here. You got Bernard Persson back in 7th. I mean, you could have shuffled up the 2 through 7, and I think someone did, because they're not running the way they were pre-pit stop, Aaron.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But I like what I'm seeing out of the rest of these drivers. I think they all know at this point something needs to happen to the 83 for this to play into somebody else's hands. But right now, Jason sitting real pretty.
He's sitting pretty. It's coming down, though. Under 14 seconds is the lead. 14 to go. Jason crossed the line, makes it 13 to go. So we're still at the second per lap threshold. Can Klaus Williams keep up this pace? He has to get just a little more out of it, because he's kind of only got to get there, Baron. He's got to get by him, too.
Well, I'll tell you what, the minute he can see him, you're going to see those lap times get even faster. Because once you see him out the window and you know you can get out there and touch him, boy, that does a little something to your speed, doesn't it, Dean?
Well, it does. There's no doubt. And Klaus is doing everything he can. I mean, he is back under 13. So it's so close for us. Newton back here in 3rd with Ratliff in 4th.
And look, the harder he drives, the more his tire wear happens as well. So he needs to be a little mindful of how his car's running, because charging hard right now, he might get to him. He's still got to pass him.
Here goes Greg Ratliff underneath the 2 of Adam Newton. Can Newton do what Abear did to him and run off the high side? And I think he can, as the 5 gets awful loose on the low side.
Way up high for that 16 machine again. He's really trying to seek out a faster line. He can see his intervals in that truck, and he's also seeing right now that those intervals have started to level out a little bit here, Dean.
Yeah, that was the inevitable thing that was going to happen. I mean, he's still faster, but it is diminishing as we go along here. He's now under 12 seconds, but there's only 10 laps remaining, Baron. As the times gained shrink, the laps shrink, the math seems a little bit off at this point.
Yeah, he needs to find a little something. He needs to find it now with 10 to go.
Focus in on this battle for 3rd. It's Newton and Ratliff battling it out.
Shout out to Thomas Wolf in the 91 machine, up 10 spots, knocking on the door of the top 10 there in 13th with 10 positions as he almost gets into the wall and gets a full measure of the booth jinx. Oh, he's getting lapped. Never mind.
Yeah, well, he is right here by the race leader. Good call on getting to Thomas. We want to highlight you, Thomas. You're having a heck of a good run. But right now, it's about Speer coming inside of you here, and he's got the 75 with him. That's Michael Ware. Michael Ware, a lap behind Jason Speer. But I don't know if he was putting pressure on him. I guess not. It looks like Speer already got by him. So Speer down and away and in cruise control right now. Still with almost an 11-second lead. Just dominating here tonight.
Yeah, I love it when a plan comes together, right, Dean? If you came out here with a plan and the plan was 2 stops, this is how we're going to win our race. I love it when it happens.
Yeah, and you know, I'm going to do my complaint one more time. The thing is, everybody knew this, or some guys knew this going in. They knew Jason Speer could do the 48 laps, and they could not. And they didn't adjust their strategy accordingly, Baron, and that cost them maybe this 10 seconds.
Well, we talked about at the beginning of the broadcasting, practice. Practice uncovers your deficiencies. It certainly provides you your talents, and if speed isn't one of them, maybe fuel strategy is.
Well, I don't know if that was an appropriate statement. Did you just call him slow?
Not at all. You know, sometimes you're out on tracks with guys that can wheel the truck or the car better than you, and you know that. And sometimes they, given a level playing field on a shorter run, they walk away. That's fair. Not calling anybody slow.
No, that's fair. But what I meant was, like, I don't know if this is can't versus this is a choice by Jason. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think he could go a little faster if he wanted to, but he knew he had to make 48 laps.
Yeah, no, he made up his mind. That's how he's going to win his race, and he's doing it. I love it.
Yeah, great strategy, great race. And as you can see now, Baron, I mean, times have really leveled off. I think with 5 to go, I wouldn't be surprised at 3 to go if he was back to being the fastest guy on the track again on older tires.
Yeah, they have leveled out for him, and this one's all but over here with 5 to go.
Yeah, we've said that many times. Behind him, though, we got a big battle brewing. Newton in 3rd, Abear 4th, Ripka 5th. You got Greg Ratliff and Bernard Persson in this group, and these guys are battling tooth and nail for 3rd place. Now, how much do you want 3rd versus, say, 5th, Baron?
Well, I mean, if you're points racing, you're not giving up any spots, right?
Absolutely not. I mean, you don't want to wreck. You don't want to give up what you got, but you also, it's right there for the taking. These are championship points. Oh, and Newton, speaking of championship points, good save here. Almost on 2 wheels through the grass. The 2 machine pulls it together and slips back into 7th.
Pucker moment for sure.
Wow. So Newton with 2 costly mistakes tonight has cost him. He'll slide to 7th, and he'll get a relatively decent finish, but these guys are all going to, or a couple guys are going to gain spots here.
Yeah, the guys behind him are like, oh boy.
Absolutely. My mother always told me to keep clean underwear, and I'm not sure I could do it in that situation.
I think Adam Newton's going to have to go to his spare. I think he's going to need the backup, Dean.
I mean, you know, at our age, you shouldn't really be wearing tighty whities, should you?
Well, now his might be a little brownie wownies.
So we got Abear, Ripka. That's 3rd and 4th. Klaus Williams a little further up here. He is in 2nd place. It's about 8.3 seconds to our race leader, Jason Speer. Really putting on a performance. You talk about practice. This man knew what it took. He came out here with a plan, and he is executing it. Final lap for the 83. back at third. And it's Bear. Ripka still riding around behind him. He may have given up on trying to get around Bear at this point. It seems very difficult here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you can only stare at the back of that truck for so long, Dean. It's so frustrating.
It really is. The 83 coming out of 4. Gonna take victory here in the World Wide Technology 120. What a race by Jason Speer. Second, it's going to go to the 16 and Klaus Williams. Solid event for him. Bear, Ripka. It's going to be Greg Ratliff, your top 5. Bernard Persson. You got Adam Newton. Tony Ratliff. Darren Bruce. And George Dibble round out your top 10. Well, Barrett, I mean, there's not much more to say than he outthought him, he outplayed him, he flat out outraced him here tonight, the 83, Jason Speer.
Yeah, out-thunking him, that's a good job. He finished it off with some speed too, Dean. They weren't even close, so I love what I've seen out of the 83, and that's why he's our points leader.
Yeah, well, that's what impressed me the most here tonight, Baron. Anybody can save gas and make it happen. But here in the first run, he was right there with all the other guys, about 6 or 7 of them there, right nose to tail. He was right there. During the end of the run there, during those last 10 laps, he was on par with anybody else with 40-lap older tires. Great job by the 83.
Oh, for sure. And look, and managed to save enough gas to seal the deal.
Yeah, just very impressive, and he knows it. He's loving it. He is smoking up the place here, Baron. I don't know if that's. I mean, we got Kailu Glass here as a sponsor. Why not smoke it up?
I love it. Burn them down, buddy.
All right. Well, as Jason Speer enjoys this victory, we're going to take a short commercial. We'll come back. We'll get words for their top 3 finishers. Oh boy, those 87s look like fun. I'm not so sure they are, Baron, but they certainly look like fun, don't they?
I haven't driven them yet, Dean. I'm really looking forward to doing that. I really like the throwback to the days of old when NASCAR was growing and it was a household name.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us old hats yearn for those days, and I think it might be more nostalgia than truth, how great it was, but it certainly was memories in the back of my head that I'll never forget. I miss all those guys, especially the great old announcers, Baron.
Oh yeah, definitely. Ken Squire and Ned Jarrett, and oh my goodness, so many
Ken
great memories.
Squire, for a lot of us, doesn't get any better than that. He's just a voice of a generation. But nonetheless, let's get back to World Wide Technology and RGR Racing League here. You see tonight's finishing order. We did the top 10. Let's look at 11th. You got Travis, Ledford, Thomas Wolfe. You talked a little bit about a good little run for him, up several spots. Gilly there in 14th. Whiting, Alland, Williams, Musial, Seaman, and just outside of the top 20, you got Michael Ware, William Gay, Gadina, and Daryl Speer. Not the nights they wanted out here tonight. I think William Gay, was heavy in the points, about 4th in the points. It's going to be a bit of a blow to him, but he'll come back next week and he'll get her back on track. Tonight was all about Speer and this decision. Great little race out here tonight, though, Baron.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, Dean. And like you said, some guys didn't have the nights they wanted, but Gateway's a tough little track. And so it takes a while to get your hands around this one. And that's exactly what Jason Speer did tonight.
Yeah, he certainly did. He got around here in a great fashion, as did this man, the number 25. Sorry, I put them both together there, James. The number
That's
25.
a new word. The Twive.
I don't know what happened there, folks. James Bear, 3rd place, man. A great run here tonight, James.
Yeah, it was a good run. I mean, these guys are just top tier, top class. Like, I'm sure you guys seen Lance battling me, Greg battling me. Just want to apologize quickly for getting into Adam there a little bit. Got him a little loose. But yeah, these guys are top class, and huge shout out to Jason. That was an amazing strategy he pulled off.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he did a heck of a job, but let's talk about you, James. You're out there leading out here now, not necessarily the fastest. You weren't walking away from these guys, but you were running a consistent line, and you were giving up the bottom and saying, "Hey, go at it. Here's the line if you want to try it." And you were holding off, well, the likes of Newton there for a good 20 laps.
Yeah, I just kind of moved around the track a little bit there in the start of the race just to see where my truck felt most comfortable, and it just happened to be in that top lane. I know the bottom's a little bit faster, so just defend that lead at the top, and I just got good runs off and kept defending well.
Now, talk a little bit about your strategy at the end there. I thought it was a little odd for a lot of guys, and I was a little interested as to why everybody was waiting so long to pit if they weren't going to go with a one stopper. Why such late pits for everybody?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I can speak for myself. I wasn't too sure based off my practice sessions on when I wanted to pit, when I didn't want to pit. So I just kind of waited for somebody to do something and kind of followed suit, to be honest. Didn't really have a strategy this race.
Well, that's where Baron Labosco comes in, James. You give old Baron a call, we'll get him out of the booth, and he can come crew chief for you. He's a master crew chief, so we'll get
Wow.
that out to you.
Hey
But
man, I'll take your number down 100%.
oh, I highly recommend him. He did it for me the other night, and enjoyable experience. But we enjoyed you tonight, James. Hell of a race, man, and love everything you did tonight. Thought you ran a perfect race out there. You weren't crowding anybody. You weren't doing anything wrong. You're just racing your line and holding them off. I thought it was a master class in how you hold the lead. So congrats on a great night, good points night. Not the night you wanted, maybe a victory was probably what you were looking for, but third place, nothing to sneeze at here, is it?
No, but I mean, it's still a top three finish, and then finally put together a good race, and hopefully we can build off this moving forward in the next track, next round here, build some points. So
Absolutely, James. We can't wait for the rest of the season with you. You've been up in the mix in all the races, and best of luck going forward. Anybody want to shout out, man? You go right ahead.
yeah, just huge shout out to Todd for not only creating this league, but giving me the early invite, let me be an early adopter. Appreciate that.
All right, Baron. That was third place finisher, the number 25, James Bear.
Hell of a run by the 25 machines. Great to have him out there. But it was dry January, and right now, Dean, we are celebrating No Lies February. So stop calling me a great crew chief, will you? I'm with Klaus Williams in the number 16 truck. Klaus, congratulations on your second place finish tonight. Tell me how your night went.
I was going pretty good. I was trying to save fuel that first run. I couldn't save as much as Jason, but I was just running easy. That's why I fell back to 6 and just saving tires, saving fuel. That second run, I ran a little harder. And then I had to make that last pit stop, and I ran the wheels off it trying to catch Jason, but just ran out of laps and ran out of time.
Well, you were coming for certain, and then it looks like the tires equaled out a little bit as the run got later on. But we were watching your line tonight, Klaus. You were eating them up running that high line. Where'd you find that from?
I saw a couple other people doing it, and I noticed I could make up time coming out of the corner, and it wasn't as loose coming out, and it gave me better straightaway speed down the back, down the straightaways coming out that high line. But it seemed to work with the tires too. So.
Well, that was my next question. How was the wear? I mean, did you see any significant changes in handling, or was this just something that just seemed to work for you all night?
It seemed to work good. The truck didn't push. It was loose a little bit, but if you went easy the first 5 or 6 laps and let the tire temps come up, it seemed to handle pretty good. And I didn't get that loose in the end of the runs. I was surprised. Not as loose as some of the people in front of me, I noticed.
So I'm a betting man. I'm guessing you had race control on speed dial, telling them you saw debris on that track, didn't you?
I was yelling. I kept telling the trucks at NASCAR to throw the caution.
Well, still a hell of a finish here in second place, and a hell of a run. You put on a great show for us tonight, Klaus. Who do you want to thank for your efforts tonight, and any shout outs you want to make? The floor is yours.
I'll give a shout out to Luke Mansky Racing. They sponsor me and just say hi to my girlfriend for letting me do this.
Right, you always gotta pay attention to the boss, right? To tip your cap to the girlfriend here and go make her a nice sandwich or something, right?
Absolutely. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be doing this.
That's awesome. I love hearing it. So, Dean, Klaus Williams in the 16 truck finishing second tonight.
Yeah, great job by Klaus tonight. He had the power all night. Looked good, running that high line. Loved it. But we're sitting here now with the 83 down in victory lane. It's Jason Speer. What a night, Jason. Putting it on him here, opening up your points lead. Congrats on a great victory.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Very impressive, Jason. So, were you surprised, first of all? I know you weren't surprised you could make it because you knew this. You come in with a plan. We talked about it. We like, when guys practice, think things out. You got a plan, you execute it. But were you surprised at the speed you had while being able to save fuel?
Well, you know what? I never even looked at my lap times until the race was over. Some of the guys were like, "Man, you were still running like threes and fours." I never really looked at it. I was just so focused on just trying to hit my marks and not kill my tires. And I I meant to pit a lap earlier than I did, but I couldn't get down to pit road, and I had just enough to get back to the cone, and she was running out going down pit road. Matter of fact, I think I coasted the last 10 boxes.
Well, we were talking about it, Jason. We seen you. And Barron said, "Oh, he's trapped. He can't get down there." And I thought maybe you were just going to do another lap regardless. But the evidence was we could see some sputtering and some coasting, and it was going awful slow. Were you worried that this great strategy played out, and you ran so hard as well with speed that you thought, "Okay, I got this made." And then you probably lost, in the neighborhood of 5 seconds or so overall. Were you thinking, God, that could be my undoing?
Yeah, man, I was nervous, and the relative wasn't really showing me where the leaders were. I have no idea where they were at um, once I come off pit road and how much they were gaining on me. So I never seen them in my relatives. So I was nervous, man. I seen I still had 20 to go, and I was like, Shh, God Almighty, they gonna do what they did to me last week. Um, but I thought, man, I worked hard trying to save fuel, and here I couldn't get down. I should have mentioned it in 1 and 2. I was pitting, but to be honest with you, when I come into 1, I thought I had enough for another lap. So I was trying to decipher where I was going to go another lap or not. I had plenty. I had 2.5 laps left when I crossed the start finish line.
Yeah, it was super impressive, Jason. We were watching them late, and I thought, I don't want to make this a talk about what other guys were doing, but your strategy was unique because you were the only one in the field who did it. So we were looking at the other guys, and they didn't pit. It's 96 laps. It's 32, 32, 32. I know I'm Canadian, but I think that's the math. and But we didn't see guys pitting until lap 40, lap 43, 44, and so on. And did that surprise you, Jason? And did you think that was possibly a mistake on their part?
Heck yeah, I thought it was definitely. If you weren't going to try to do the full run, then cut it up like you're talking about. Even some of my own teammates, I figured they would have pitted a little bit earlier than they did, but um, yeah. And then when we started the race, I noticed everybody was really pretty. They were driving it pretty hard. A lot of slipping off of 2, and 3, 4 laps in, a couple people were bumping the wall with the right front, and things like that. And I'm like, okay, these guys are burning way too much fuel. I know what I'm going to do. So that's kind of what I did.
Yeah, it was a master class tonight, Jason. We were very impressed. Like I said, not only saving, but doing it while riding. I mean, the first run, you were in a group of, I don't know, 6 or 7 cars there by the end of the run that were all nose to tail for the lead. So it wasn't like you were giving up a whole lot. Thought it was a great, great effort all around. Couldn't be happier to see you in victory lane. You extend your points lead out now, and I'm sure looking forward. I mean, the championships mean something, don't they, Jason? I mean, sure, that's top of your thoughts.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, I'm just thankful to be up here leading it, just trying to put myself at in the right places. And these guys are great to run with. I just knew that when we started the race, if we could just go caution free, I'm like, I got this. I know from practice what I can turn lap times and how many laps I can turn it in.
Baron, what
Uh,
was that word he said there?
I don't know, twive? Is that what you were
No,
talking about?
no,
The
no.
twive?
Sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. That didn't go off the way I thought. No, he
He,
said practice, Baron.
oh, practice. Yeah,
You
I thought you
know,
were talking about your word, twive.
he said practice, Jason. We talk about it every week, and it's important, isn't it?
yeah, well, it is. You know, I know people have commitments and different things that they can't make these practices, but we have a blast in our practices. We share information. Um, you know, some of them were even asking me how I was doing what I was doing, and it's hard to give all the secrets to how to save, but for just one thing in particular, in turn one, if you gear down too early and that and it you're turning a lot of RPMs all the way to the center, you're burning a lot of fuel. So if you just back the corner up a little bit and then wait till you get just as you turn into one and gear down, and then you know where the light is on the back stretch. We've talked about it many, many times over and over. You know, once you get your door to that light, change gears. If you wind that thing out, you're going to be using more fuel and just little things like that. But anyway, practice is a lot of fun, and hopefully some of these guys in the league will come out and take advantage of that. And man, we got a good group of people here. We got some new drivers that we're excited that are here. It might be frustrating for some of them because they're like, God, man, these people are so fast. Heck, I'm in the top five, try to be every week, and I get frustrated because I can't win. So I know it's kind of frustrating for them, but there's a lot of people that'll help them if they just come out and support the practices and things. But it's very important, Dean.
It is, and you showed you practiced this week. You came in with a great strategy, a great mindset. It all paid off for you, near perfection. The only thing was getting stuck, not being able to get on pit road. It cost you a few seconds, Jason, but it was really an awesome, awesome effort. Great to see, and a great race for the league all around. I don't want to count anybody else out. Fantastic, entertaining race. You put it to them, Jason. Congrats on this victory. I'm sure you're thrilled to be back in victory lane, and we're happy to have you here. And we'll give you the floor, man. Anybody you want to shout out, you go right ahead.
Well, I've got to thank the guys that run tonight. Um, I just knew we were going to have a caution. I just knew it, but we didn't, and everybody kept it a nice, clean race. People were respectful and giving way, and just an amazing job by all them guys. And appreciate what Todd and George do to put this league on every night. It's a lot of fun. They built us a place to come and do what we just did tonight. It's just fun to be able to get in here and put your strategy and race it out, not be caution laps after laps. Just thank them. I love both of you guys. You know it. I appreciate the broadcast. I'll go back and watch it. I'm sure it'll be a fun one. Um, and thank my teammates. We practiced a lot last night. Thanks for their input, and we'll be ready for them next week. Thank you, guys.
All right, that's Jason Speer in the 83 down in victory lane. Baron, what a night for Jason.
Yeah, great guy and great drive tonight, and really happy to see him in victory lane. He's just an outstanding human. We poke fun at each other all the time. He's a great guy, and we have a lot of fun. But when it comes to racing, he's hard to beat.
Certainly is, and he comes prepared, and that's a lesson for anybody out there. I mean, we talk a lot about practice. Brent, you don't have to put in 40 hours of practice, but a 50 lap run, kind of know what you're doing, get on and off pit road. I mean, it's gonna help, isn't it?
Dean, it never hurts. That's the thing. I mean, it's never a bad thing to turn the laps at the track you're going to run at and get a feel for what you got. And then like knowing is half the battle. Back in the days when we used to watch GI Joe, Go Joe, right? You got to get on pit road. You got to know what that feels like. You got to get off pit road. You got to know what that feels like. You got to have time in the wheel, 50 laps, like you said. Uh, Adjust the car. Find what works. I don't know, Dean. I'm preaching, but you're right. It's practice that matters.
Practice. We're talking about practice. But a little shout out to GI Joe out there, if you're listening, GI Joe.
I'm going deep.
Yeah, I love it. GI Joe, my goodness.
I was a Star Blazers fan. GI Joe came on after that, so
He's still with the Star Blazers. I still don't
I'm
know
all
what
over
Star
it.
Blazers is, but I've been reprimanded by Baron folks, so please do not send me your messages.
Send them anyways.
But we'll be back, as we always are, every Thursday, 9:10 p.m. We'll start around 9:05 probably with RGR Racing. They're putting on great shows out here. We can't wait to get to the next one. We hope you'll join us. I'm Dean Doucette. He's Baron the Bosco, and we'll see you right here next time on Wind Tunnel TV.